In the dust-choked plains of Thrace, my life began not as a Roman, but as a free man. My name is Marcus Valerius Corvus. That last name, Corvus, the Raven, it wasn't given to me by my father. It was earned in blood, under the scorching sun of the arena. My story starts with the Legion's eagle casting a long, dark shadow over my village. I was a blacksmith's son, strong and stubborn. When the Romans came, I fought for my family, for my home. But iron and fury were no match for disciplined steel. I was captured, shackled, and dragged to the heart of the empire I so despised. Rome, they stripped me of my name, my identity. I was just another piece of property, branded and sold in the slave market. My new master saw my physique, the calloused hands of a smith, the fire in my eyes that refused to be extinguished. He didn't see a field hand or a servant. He saw a gladiator. I was sent to the Ludus Magnus, the great gladiatorial school beside the Colosseum. There, survival was the only lesson. Every day was a brutal dance of sweat, pain, and the clash of wooden swords. Our trainer, a grizzled ex-gladiator named Drusus, beat into us the grim reality of our new lives. "You are no longer men," he'd roar, his voice like grinding stones. "You are instruments of death, and your only purpose is to entertain the mob until your own death earns you cheers." My first real fight in the Colosseum is a blur of terror and instinct. The roar of 80,000 spectators was a physical force, a wave of sound that threatened to drown me. My opponent was a towering Gaul, a veteran of a dozen battles. I was younger, faster. I remembered my father's forge, the rhythm of the hammer, the way you had to find the weak points in the metal. I dodged, I weaved, and when his guard dropped for a fraction of a second, I struck. The crowd erupted. I had survived. I had won, but the victory felt hollow. I was still a slave, my life hanging by the thread of public opinion. For 5 years, the arena was my world. I fought as a Murmillo with a large shield and the gladius. I learned to read my opponents, to use the crowd's energy, to kill without hesitation. With each victory, my fame grew. They called me Corvus, the Raven, for my dark hair and the swift, deadly way I moved. I earned my freedom, the coveted wooden sword, the Rudis. I was a free man again, but I was a man with nothing. My past was a ghost, my future a fog. The money I'd earned was substantial, but what could it buy me? A home, a family. The family I once had was lost to me, a painful memory I buried deep. I invested my winnings, guided by a shrewd freedman who saw a spark of intelligence behind the warrior. I started a shipping business, importing grain from Egypt and wine from Gaul. The skills I learned in the arena strategy, risk assessment, knowing when to press an advantage served me well in the world of commerce. My wealth grew, and with it, my influence. I bought a villa on the Esquiline Hill, a place of peace far from the bloody sands of the Colosseum. I thought I could build a new life, a quiet one. But the gods are cruel, and fate is a fickle mistress. While I was in Ostia overseeing a shipment, a fire swept through my part of Rome. It wasn't an accident. It was a raid, a band of Germanic barbarians who had slipped past the border patrols, seeking plunder. They burned my villa to the ground. In the ashes, I found the bodies of my wife, a gentlewoman I had come to love, and my 2 young children. The world went silent. The grief was a physical wound, deeper than any sword cut I had ever received. The fire that had taken them reignited the one inside me. The quiet merchant was gone. The warrior was back. I used my fortune to raise a small, private legion of loyal veterans and mercenaries. I sought a commission from the emperor himself, not for glory or for land, but for vengeance. I would hunt down the tribe that had destroyed my world. I was given the rank of legatus, the senators. Those old men in their fine togas scoffed. A former gladiator, a new man of commerce, leading a legion. It was unheard of. But the emperor saw the same fire Drusus had seen all those years ago. He saw a tool he could use. For 2 years, we campaigned beyond the Danube. We fought in dense, dark forests and across frozen rivers. It was a different kind of war. Not a spectacle for the masses, but a grim, brutal struggle for survival. My men respected me, not for a noble name, but because I bled with them. I starved with them, and I fought at the very front of the line. We were relentless. We tracked our enemy with the patience of wolves. In the final, decisive battle, I met their chieftain. It wasn't in an arena, with rules and a cheering crowd. It was in the mud, the snow, a savage duel to the death. When it was over, I stood over his body, not with triumph, but with an empty, aching weariness. Vengeance was a bitter drink. It didn't bring back my family. During the campaign, I found something I never expected. My second-in-command was a centurion named Gaius, and his sister Cornelia had traveled with the legion's camp followers as a healer. She was a patrician by birth, disowned by her family for marrying a common soldier who later died in battle. She was proud, intelligent, and saw past the gladiator and the grieving widower. She saw the man, Marcus. She tended to my wounds, both physical and spiritual. In the cold, harsh wilderness of Germania, her kindness was a warmth I thought I'd never feel again. We spoke of philosophy, of poetry, of a future that didn't involve war. A new love, quiet and strong, began to grow. I returned to Rome not just a wealthy merchant, but a war hero, the gladiator general. They called me. My victory was celebrated with a triumph. a grand procession through the city. The same crowds that had once cheered for my death now cheered for my glory. The emperor, pleased with my success and seeing my popularity, offered me the one thing money could not buy, a seat in the Senate. The old patrician families were outraged, a Thracian slave, a gladiator, in the hallowed halls of the Curia. It was an insult to tradition. My first day in the Senate, I walked in wearing the white toga with the broad purple stripe Bilaticlave. The whispers followed me like shadows. They saw a barbarian and upstart, but I had faced down men who wanted to kill me for sport. The scornful glares of old politicians held no fear for me. I stood to speak, my voice steady, carrying the same authority that had commanded a legion. I didn't speak of war or conquest. I spoke of the grain supply, of fair prices for the common people, of strengthening the borders so no other family would suffer as mine had. I spoke from experience, not from inherited privilege. Some listened, some learned to respect the pragmatism and the raw intelligence of the man who had risen from nothing. I made allies, men who valued competence over ancestry. With Cornelia by my side, I navigated the treacherous currents of Roman politics. It was a new kind of arena, where the weapons were words and the poisons were rumors. The fights were no less deadly. I championed reforms for veterans, secured funding for infrastructure, and argued for a stronger, more just Rome. I never forgot the feel of chains on my wrists or the smell of blood on the sand. It grounded me. It reminded me who I was fighting for, the common man, the soldier, the slave who dreamed of freedom. My story is a Roman story, an empire built by outsiders, by the ambitious, the ruthless, and the lucky. From a slave in shackles to a senator in the Curia, I have seen the very worst and the very best of this city. I have loved, lost, and loved again. I have taken life and I have built a new one from the ashes of the old. My name is Marcus Valerius Corvus, and this is my Rome. I am a gladiator, I am a general, I am a senator, and I will not be the last. The future of Rome is not written in old family trees, but in the strength and ambition of those who dare to forge their own destiny. Thank you for watching our story today. If you were captivated by the journey of Marcus from the Colosseum to the Senate, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the ancient world. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, farewell.